Hello, it is I, Dr. Brian Lorgon 111, and welcome back to Blueprints, where it is the next day. In the coat check, where is there something hidden? I hear it beeping. Or was it in the dining room? I am not sure. In any case, where I have some things I would like to test. So let's retrieve key 8, in case it is useful at the end of the tunnel that we got to yesterday. Like, seriously, am I just not seeing where there's an item in this room? Or is it beeping because it was actually in the previous room? Was it in the dining room? It was in the dining room. Okay. Here is the house I have drafted thus far. But I plan to exit now. I do have the boiler room with the thingy set, so that we should be able to go downstairs. And I had a lab experiment going that gave me a bunch of chests at the entrance hall, so that was nice. The microchips have ended up back here in the Blackbridge Grotto again, for whatever reason. So I'm going to take them with me. I also have 2 wind-up keys from 2 parlors with me, because I'm not sure if all the boxes will be closed again or something. Okay, and that's the sound of that thing, and that's not the sound I heard the other day. Of, like, stone sliding, I thought. Let's insert some microchips. That's closer to the sound. So the Royal Scepter was not doing the thing when I was drafting blue rooms to, like, light up the thing to open this. That might be the stone sliding sound I heard the other day, though. But I was wondering if key 8 might open something, and I want to try opening the black box as well. But the first thing I want to do is just kind of, like, walk against these walls and see if I get any kind of prompt to use key 8. And the answer is no. Okay, so I tried all of those. Then I'll take a third wind-up key. And let's start by opening this box. Alright, that one is simply empty, it would appear. This one, do I get the crazy cutscene again? I do not get the cutscene again. It just lets me see the spiral. Okay, that's fine. And then this one, it does have the book again. And I'm fairly certain that we've seen everything there is to see here. I'm just going to quickly look back through it in case it gives me any new ideas. Blue skies. A house full of lies and the truth that one prince finds. The true box does not always contain the prize. So the prize is among the lies. Alright. I do have some other places that I would like to test key 8 as well. So I guess I'll try to do that. So back over here. Let's go visit our old friend. Who I'm imagining is Alzara. Oh, this stays up. That's interesting. Wonder if you can just solve it again and get the key again. Alright. But I don't seem to have a... This music. I don't think I realized that opening the Blueprints book had more to this music. but I don't remember hearing this portion of the music before. I like it. Is there anything else I can see? An old man sitting in an even older chair. It's very old and scratched, however. I really don't think I can see anything else there. And I don't even really feel like interacting with that. Okay, but in any case, key 8 was not immediately useful here, as far as I can tell. This also has 8 thingy-madoos. I don't suppose any of these walls are actually like hidden doorways or something. It seems unlikely. But so long as I'm down here holding key 8, I might as well press my face against the walls a little bit more than usual. The pantry was the room with the blue tents memo that says there is a letter missing. T is in here. And we've seen the curious T in the solarium. So maybe that's hinting me at that. There's also sugar and flour. But the T kind of stands out to me. Is there anything else noteworthy in the pantry? What does that say? Oh, coffee. C-O-F-F-E. It's missing a letter E. That's an even better fit for there is a letter missing. What do I do with that? There's a missing letter E in coffee. So when it's on rank 8, there was a blue tents memo here inside the paper towels that said, in quotation marks, there is a letter missing. Coffee. E. How could I use that? And back in security, at the entrance hall, we saw someone carrying out the pot with the microchip. In security, we saw Marigold holding up the train route map. The library one, I'm not sure if there was useful information, so I just want to watch it back again. So we're looking down in the library. There's a man standing in the back. Marigold is sitting at the table. She's looking at a book. He's holding a book. Maybe one of the books that we're going to cross-reference in order to use the one-time pad code of a new clue. He walks over. I don't notice anything else unusual about the library itself. He's pointing at something in the book. Like I can imagine, like, searching through Realm and Rune in order to find the word scorched, for example. And then is she turning a page? I'm not sure. I don't know what to make of that, but I feel like there's probably some information there that could be redundant cluing for some other hint or something. And then in 1994, there's not any footage found. And in 1993, I've had a chance to watch it back a number of times, but you all have not. So this was the opening cutscene. That was the security's cutscene. That was the court cloak. You know what? Let's watch this one back too. And then we're going to watch back the Rumpus Room. Court. Cloak. Castle. Court. Cloak. Castle. And in between, A-R-I-E. A-R-I-E. A-R-I-E in binary. Court, cloak, castle. Court, we went to the Court of Ares, and we got the key. Cloak. Is the old man sitting in a chair? Is he wearing a cloak? Castle. Like, we had the castle to get there in the first place. But I feel like there might still be information there that I have not gained. But let's go ahead and watch all of Alzara's prophecies again, even though it kind of will bore me to death. So.
And, as it was foretold, I am awakened at the sound of the dropping coin. You find yourself face to face.
It's a shame that it has to play the intro each time, but I understand maybe why.
I suspect you wish me to look into your future.
So I think 2 through 5, I'm going to skip the intro when I'm doing my editing if I think of it.
Is becoming clear. I see a boy standing on a shore of white sand.
Shore of white sand.
He is looking for something. Something he was told he would not find. I see a black cat.
There's a bunch of pillars in the distance.
I hear the wind blowing, but the flag does not stir.
I wish Alzara talked louder.
A door marked.
That's a crescent moon that's C-shaped as opposed to a reverse C.
Is always
The shape of that door is vaguely...
it is the
That looks like the safe house door, but there wasn't a door there.
will not find
The shape of the door is vaguely like the stamp.
beyond the
Beyond the dark waters.
What you have heard here has been foreseen by the great Alzara until the dawn.
Okay, so that is the first one.
Will have nothing.
Now we'll move on to number 2.
Is becoming.
Okay, so here's the start of the second one.
I see the darkened cloud of ruin, familiar to us both.
I don't understand that at all.
Decrepit, run down, and in disrepair. I see 8 red envelopes resting upon 8 pedestals,
I don't think we've seen pedestals before.
and in these 8 envelopes, I see 8 letters penned by 8 different hands.
Never tried to read that.
8 letters of which you will only ever find and read 7.
That has turned out to be true thus far.
Just like the art hanging on the walls of these rooms, there is a letter missing.
There is a letter missing.
What you have heard here has been foreseen.
Okay, now let's move on to number 3.
Alzara. Yes,
So here's number 3.
the fog is clearing. I see a shadow in the doorway. Silent footsteps in the hallway.
I don't know what to make of this one.
An unlatched gate you did not open.
Did the way the door was latched change? I'm not sure. Missing item we didn't take, lost and found.
I see a young boy watched from afar. A young boy who once was brave, but now afraid.
That's Draxus that you can just make out there.
Heard here has been foreseen.
But that one just seems to be like spooky.
By the great
I don't know,
Alzara
let's move on to the next one.
Until
So here's the start of number 4.
the image is becoming clear. I hear the pattering steps of children running in the forest.
I don't recognize this particular location in the forest.
The joyful echoes of
candlestick in the...
that has served many generations, each with their own stories, each with their
Stories? The library's 2 stories tall.
each with their own endings, but all in the same chair.
That's in the attic.
What you have heard here has been foreseen by the great Alzara.
Yeah, I don't know.
Till the dawn,
Number 5.
faintly in the mist, I see a figure,
So this is the Royal Museum.
a statue cradled in a courtyard of sentinel stone.
This is what we see on the map.
You will find yourself one day wandering these paths, walking in the footsteps of the past,
We're basically retracing what actually happened, wondering about it.
and waiting, searching for a shadow that will never be
We seek what's in the shade of truth. I have at least one other idea of something to try with that.
to end, the hours to pass.
Looks also kind of like I'm having tea there in the train station.
Foresee
100 Bells Tea Room, Sandy Heights, 5 p.m.
Alzara.
I'm not sure. The other idea I have for the shade of truth that I don't remember if I voiced aloud is the solarium tea, if tea is truth there. What if I use that, get that drafted in the outer rooms using the Blessing of the Monk, and then it would be kind of be in the shade, maybe? Let's watch this entire one together. The beginning is mostly just different to tell you that it's the final
I am awake
for one last time.
this time by the sound of a dropping coin. You find yourself face to face with the great Alzara. And I suspect you wish me to impart to you
One final vision. That looks like train tracks. This is the room that we met Alzar in, but there's a bonfire in the center, and there's the infinity on the pillars in the back. That's the Black Bridge and Jesper's story, basically.
In the dim, I see cavern walls of stone. A hollow lit by a sea.
Like, that could be the Gemstone Cavern.
Stone.
The other one could have been, like, the Precipice.
I see a treasure buried beneath the cliff rocks.
And it's presumably the treasure that we got in the previous episode.
A black mirror hidden.
This is important, though.
Memories of the falling sands.
So the Black Mirror hidden,
The black mirror.
I guess, could be the key that we got. It's kind of a black mirror.
A figure standing in sullen snow.
And then, you know, we're collapsing because we don't have that many steps, is what we're going to witness now here. And so basically it's just talking about the curse. Basically, I don't know that there's any useful information for me to get from any of the Alzara visions at this point. Yeah, and that's obviously leading up to the cursed box.
Told you,
My young Baron.
I wish you to now know. Until we meet again some distant day,
We'll meet again some distant day.
we'll have nothing more to say.
But when will that day be? I don't know. Alright, but I hadn't looked again at those on camera. Well, ever. And so I thought it would be a good refresher. There was some room I was trying to draft. Right, I want to draft the attic and the vault, potentially. for possible places to bring key 8 for reasons. I don't want any of these, and I am currently cursed, and so if I draft, for example, the laundry room, I will lose a coin, which seemed like the least bad of the different rooms that I could draft there. At this point, all of my drafting power is out in the foundation. Do I want to keep drafting today, or do I want to wait until my curse wears off tomorrow? I still have key 8 on me out of the coat check, and I still have a gazillion steps. So I guess I will do a little bit more today, but let's make sure we can get key 8 back into coat check by the end of the day, which is going to cost me like another 12 steps at the end. The ballroom is a super interesting room that I actually do have a bunch of resources that I would like to try in there, but I currently have 8 gems, so I think I can't go in there yet. So let me try to use some other gems first. And also, given the curse, I would not mind digging up some more turnips, in case it helps me with steps. So we'll take a moment to see if we get lucky. There's a turnip. Haha, we've done it. Okay, let's keep drafting. The rotunda's gonna cost me a lot of stuff. And I could probably get that way anyway, so let's just take the closet for now. Dinner bell. Oh, I forgot about dinner. I have a dining room that's along the way to the coat check. Alright, so it's still going to cost me just as many steps to get back over there anyway. But then I'll be able to get back to the break room afterwards. Vestibule is going to cost me a key, but I have plenty of those. And yeah, I'm basically just trying to draft as much as I can. Cloister of Draxus is a red room, so that's pretty unappealing. But so is spending all my gems, so I think I'll just draft the library, and unless there's a apple in it, which I don't see, I'll leave it behind. So then I'll try going this way. Office is probably the least bad. I've got the pick sound amplifier. Actually, this could be good. I can lose a key, but then I can probably like pick all these doors, because I do have a lot of lockpicking skill. So I guess we'll do that. Alright, I actually found one that I couldn't pick before I even bother. Do I need to? It is one of the cubby holes over there. Here's this. Apparently you can right-click in addition to holding escape on the keyboard as a way to skip those cutscenes. Okay, and I do want to go south. A courtyard. I forget what disadvantage a green room has. Let's just find out. It takes away a gem. Okay, that's probably fine, because we'll probably gain one back. Just doing our normal stuff in here. Dice are nice. Okay, I do have a bunch of rerolls. So I could try pretty hard to get my attic and vault if I wanted to. Still have 63 steps, so even with the curse, doing kind of fine on that. Yeah, the curse isn't too bad. I can hear the wind blowing out here in the courtyard. If I really looked up at the like ceiling area of the courtyard very much, I don't know that I have. So, over in this direction, drawing room is pretty fantastic for what I need right now. And I'll get my gem back out of the safe. Also, it has a fireplace, so my experiment gives me more chests at the front of the entrance hall. And let's try to get one of my good dead ends here. So we'll use a drawing room reroll. And then I'll use some of my redraws. Trophy room could potentially get me a lot more redraws, but the ladyship's bedchamber, hidden among the memory of the falling sands. This is another room that's very memories of the falling sands-ish. So I'm going to spend an extra step and go in here. I have a pick sound amplifier. Can I hear any special music coming out of the harp? Do I have any new insight into this? Here's a magnifying glass. That may or may not be useful. This is not a music box. I was thinking that this was a music box for some reason, but it's totally not. So, Memories of the Falling Sands. Oh! The diary is open. I did not have the key. It's just open. After you unlock it once, is it permanently unlocked? Perhaps. A black mirror hidden among the memories of the falling sands. Can I see a black mirror? I don't know that I've ever looked carefully at these bits. I think I probably have. Like, is there somehow a black mirror hidden in any of these? 'Cause I think I've looked pretty thoroughly elsewhere. But no, these just look like the pictures of the rooms pretty well. Our own room. I'm in this room right now. Here's the harp. There is another place. So here's a mirror. But I don't know that it's a black mirror. Like, I think I've already interpreted that clue like a different way, so it's probably not what I'm thinking of. But in here, I can close this. Hidden among the memories of the falling sands, an hourglass. Is falling sands, kind of. There's so little information about the Elder Simon. But yeah, I don't know that I'm gleaning any new information here. I guess these bedposts are kind of shaped like the roofs of some of the buildings that I think we see in the Inner Sanctum in the Araja area, possibly. Got little sitting couches. The ceiling of this room. There's a few rooms that have these chandeliers. The bottom of the chandelier is almost shaped like the Rindian octagon, black mirror kind of shape. But I don't know that I'm actually learning anything here. So I should probably move on. Can't pick the lock, so we'll spend a key. Okay, Electric Eel Aquarium will hurt me badly. Because it's a red room and a orange room and a green room. Like, I'll lose a ton of resources. So I think I should take the study for more rerolls. It usually comes with a resource or two. There we go. The study, I was also thinking, I have the Key of 8 on me. The study is also a room that I was thinking family core. Like, it had vague possibilities. Is there anywhere that I could interact in here? Just because this room seems so integral to Herbert's planning. But I don't see anything I can interact with. Is there any way to get behind here? No. I don't think it's important to do so anyway. Safe doors don't reclose. And, like, there's no reason to imagine that looking at the letters again is going to do anything useful for me. Okay, still have plenty of steps. So we'll go back through the Great Hall. And I've closed that off, so I guess we're going this way now. treasure trove is a black print, which I don't think will hurt me. Bedroom, I would lose a step but gain a bunch of keys. Treasure trove, I mean, basically I don't need anything out of it. Either one would still give me possibilities to get the vault or the attic. So I think either one's fine. I'm going to take this one and lose a step. And possibly gain some more steps back from the shoes. Hooray! And we'll grab some keys. Why not? Here's another mirror of sorts. Gymnasium, red room, I'll lose a gem or something, I think. But that's fine for now. It gives me the corner I need. A gem and a key. That's still fine. Okay, over here. I'm very likely to get the vault, I think, in this corner, so I'm going to spend some of my rerolls to attempt to do so. There's the vault. Okay. Vault likes to be drafted in the corner. So, the family core is unlocked by the sum of its digits. Oh, what if the family core 53? Family core is 53. This is unlocked by the sum of its digits, but I have key 8. Oh, yeah. If I look right here. Oh, wow. I did it. I'm so glad I decided to do this. So, the family core was the Roman numerals on the coat of arms. If you use the numeric coring method, it becomes 53. It's unlocked by the sum of its digits. I have key 8 in my inventory that I've had in coat check for forever, because I figured it had to be used somewhere, and this is it. Use key 8. I got an allowance token. Thanks. So worthy. And a message from Herbert, clearly. My obsession with ciphers was renewed after my brother died. Tell me more about that. For among his journals I found a curious square, a grid of words written in a hand I immediately recognized, my mother's. Accompanying this discovery were numerous pages containing traces of my brother's fruitless attempt over the years to decipher this grid. It was a bittersweet find. The excitement I felt was tempered by memories of the unique bond my mother and brother always shared. I was the child with an interest in puzzles and wordplay, yet it was Simon to whom she bequeathed this cryptic gift. This is like backstory that I have been craving. I'll go over it with the magnifying glass in a moment. With all respect to my late brother, it became clear after spending time poring over his notes that he was not very suited to this challenge. Occasionally he stumbled upon some promising ideas, but none of them were thoroughly pursued. Where I will give him credit, however, is the extensive research he conducted, combing through the career's worth of our mother's notes and correspondences. This search culminated in the discovery of a letter my mother had written a local professor requesting additional information for use in the creation of a cryptograph. This meager clue was, according to his survey, the only shred of evidence in her belongings that mentioned this project. That's reminiscent of Miss Peterson writing Professor L. Charity, but the mother isn't Miss Peterson, it's Clara Epson, who are different people. And I'm not sure if I'm conflating those, and in any case, that's part of what led me here. Like, I'm here now because of the numeric cores. As for me, I'm ashamed to admit that despite all my boasting, I have nothing to show for nearly 3 decades of effort. I am no closer to solving this than I was in those early months of daily obsession. And with each passing year, I fear my chances of reaching a satisfying conclusion to this adventure grow even slimmer. Some might even say this outcome is quite fitting. Poetic justice for tormenting my readers for so many years with seemingly impossible bafflers. Baron's bafflers in the morning room was discussed in his obituary. While I can certainly relate to their frustrations, I wonder if we really need to obtain answers to all of life's questions. Must we always quench our thirst for knowledge? At my age, I often find myself looking back at the long path behind me, and I think I am content to leave a few stones unturned. A life without some mystery is a life without imagination. So I will lay down this burden and leave this stone, and the winding path of intrigue it proceeds, for future generations to explore. And there is a next page, which will be pig, sand, male, date, head, clam, peak, heat, joya, well, toad, card, will, tape, legs, tree, road, maid, slab, slab, rock, hand, vase, safe, clay, toes. A 5x5 grid of 4-letter words. Okay, now it's time to break out the magnifying glass, which I fully expect to do nothing on any of these pages, but the game has forced me. Slab, I did feel like the B looked somewhat 8-ish, but now I'm deciding it does not. I think all of these are just in... Is this a font that we have seen? Is this Clara's writing? I'll have to review the typeface. Okay, there will probably be nothing, but I will use my magnifying glass over all of this stuff. Oh, what am I saying? His mother's. That's not Clara Epson. His mother is Lady Aravier or whatever. Okay. So yeah, I'm reading the note again now. I didn't find anything with the magnifying glass. She was the Grand Architect, or a Grand Architect, who bought this place from Lord Clementine. Unique bond my mother and brother always shared. She gave the gift to Simon. He found a letter from Baroness Aravier to a professor, additional material for use in the creation of a cryptograph. It's the only mention of the project. I was never able to figure it out, so I'm leaving it for you. Okay, I don't have any immediate, just jump right in thoughts, but this will be fun for me to work on. I've not showed much of my own kind of like note-taking and reasoning kind of stuff on camera because it tends to be me silently staring at my notes. And so I don't think it's interesting video, and I'm not good at thinking hard and talking at the same time. So this will definitely be another one that I spend some time. I'm not sure if it's noteworthy, but there is no letter U. It might just be the set of words. I was just noticing all the other vowels are present, even Y, but not U. But yeah, I'll do some of my own analysis on this and try to figure out what's going on here. But that has been a long-standing mystery with all the Blue Tents stuff that talked about the numeric core, and I tried a bunch of stuff, and I've been carrying around this stupid key for so long. But now that I've found its second use, I feel like I'm done with it, and so I'm not going to bother to put it back in coat check. Just so that I can feel done with that and cross that off my list. Okay, that's great. Okay, so that basically is the main thing that I think I still wanted to do. Actually, I have the ballroom and I have the pick sound amplifier, and so I do want to go back in there, but then we'll call it a day in the break room, I guess. I could draft one more room, but it could be as much of a negative as a positive at this point, so I think I won't even bother. I'd like to get rid of the curse. The ballroom is over here. And yeah, I don't mind losing my gems at this point. So I'm currently at 2 gems. I do have the magnifying glass. Clara and Simon. Simon, we know so little about you. In Eclipse Ball, 1952. Do we have any idea how often an eclipse would happen in this world? Like, it talked about days and months only being slightly longer than days or something. Here's the music sheets. The clock strikes 12. Spin again around clock hands. Rise above the falling sands. But also, this is a piano, it's an instrument. I have a pick sound amplifier. So I was wondering if I could amplify the music in here somehow. There's a music stand. And then on the floor, like, look at this shape when the floor tiles don't quite come together. It reminds me very much of the thing on the Alzara stamp. Like, here's another good example of it. And this photo is pictured in the book A New Clue, which suggests there's something important in this room. It has a unique chandelier that is somewhat reminiscent of the shape of the key that we got in the previous episode. And I guess I can spend down my gems here. Oh, actually, conservatory? Conservatory could be just fun to do. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and take the conservatory. Oh, and it was a green room, so I lost my gem. Okay, so I have 0 gems in here now, which is somewhat non-trivial to do. Does having 0 gems in here do anything for me? I was thinking if I had 0 gems and 0 gold, which isn't something that I can accomplish right now. And I still think it's weird how the shadows underneath these keys fall. But I don't know what to make of that. Okay, I can't just waste an infinite amount of time in here right now. Did I really need to dig up that coin? Probably not. There's 2 items in here. I don't know that I'd ever found 2 items on this shelf before. How unusual. Dovecote. Which is apparently pronounced Dovecot and, like, not Dovecote, I believe. This would be a good room to make more common, because it allows you to rotate, and so even if I don't pick it, like, the rotation is good. I don't know that I want it commonplace, but standard, I think, would improve things. Cloister. I have it as standard, and that's fine. It can only be drafted in the inside of the mansion, since it's got 4 doors. So that's not a problem. And treasure trove I have as commonplace. It's an elbow. I don't really need it, but it's not hurting me per se either. I guess I'll back it off to standard. Okay. I could draft more rooms, but I'm not interested. I'm happy to call it a day. I have gotten to the end of one long outstanding mystery. There's still many more, but not having to carry around the darn key of 8 anymore is a weight off my shoulders, like you cannot believe. And yeah, I don't know that I was always doing this. Like now whenever I come into the ballroom, the boudoir, this phonograph thingy is spinning around. I've got the pick sound amplifier, but it's not doing anything. I'm trying clicking, I can't like interact with this, but I really feel like it should be singing me a tune or something. But in any case, it occurs to me if I'm not putting the key of 8 in the coat check, I can check another item. I'm going to check the Royal Scepter, because I don't think I need it. I didn't have to draft 8 rooms again in order to reopen that doorway. So I don't think I need that for that. And then in terms of the rest of my items, I do have the moon pendant, so we could get lucky holding on to some things. But I think I'm just ready to call it a day in the break room now. And so here we are on my favorite couch. Call it. And tomorrow we'll wake up and no longer be cursed. And there's still a number of things I would like to do. Off camera since last time, I put together a document that's a list of every Erajan word that I know. Hopefully that will be useful at some point. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't have a sense of... I have outstanding mysteries, but I don't have a sense of where they're going and if we're going to get like second credits or what's going to happen. But that'll be something to find out on a future day. I'm going to say that I hope as always that you all are having a great day. Oh, something I forgot to do was when I was in the conservatory to stand in front of the instrument with my pick sound amplifier, because it occurs to me the music sheets lead you to digging up the conservatory, and it has like this big stringed instrument in the corner of it, and I wanted to use the pick sound amplifier on it, and I forgot while I was standing there and got distracted by the other things in the conservatory. Oh well, that'll be something for another day as well. Have a great day, everybody. Bye bye.